So, hello everybody and welcome. Yes, welcome back here at BSN Network. Today, welcome back here at BSN Network. This is the BSN Network podcast here today. It is Friday, September 18th, so hopefully everybody's having a good day so far and a good rest of their day yesterday. I know I did. Hopefully you did as well. It is Friday, September 18th. It is Football Friday. We got our NFL picks, our college football picks. Jets versus 49ers this weekend. Huge game. Miami versus Louisville. 17th ranked Miami. 18th ranked Louisville. 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ABC tomorrow night, Saturday night. Should be a lot of fun. A lot of people are going with Miami. A lot of people are going with Louisville. I've heard mixed stuff. I'm going to go with, my favorite team. I'm saying Miami wins this game, but I'll tell you why later on in the podcast. We got the Jets game. It is Football Friday. You know how it is. It is all the football news, my football game picks, my NFL game picks, my fantasy football overview, my college game picks, the Miami game I'll preview, the Jets-Giants game I'll preview, Yankees, Mets, Islanders, all that good stuff. So here are the topics. We have NFL game picks / the Jets and the Giants, and we'll review last night's game. I am starting off week 2 0-1. I will tell you that. I am starting off week 2 0-1, which is tough. I don't like to start off the week 0-1. I don't like to start off the week on a losing note. You want to start off the week 1-0 and build on it. I start off the week 0-1. I picked the Bengals last night. That did not come true. I had the Bengals winning. Bengals lost 35-30. We'll talk about that game in just a minute or two. Kind of talk about what happened. So I'm 0-1, 10-7 overall in my picks, but I've still got this whole weekend to get my picks back on the right track and stuff. So 10-7 overall in my picks. 0-1 to start off week 2, but we still got all the Sunday games, so hopefully I'm correct on those games. Hopefully I have better luck with those games. So we have the NFL game picks / Jets and the Giants. Go through all the NFL games. I'll tell you who wins and why. The Jets will preview. The Giants will preview. Jets home against the Niners. Giants away against the Bears. Should be a lot of fun to see what happens in those two games. Then we have the fantasy football overview. Give you who you should start, who you should sit, who players you could add. And, I'll give you a run through my team, who I have in and out, and kind of just stuff like that. Then we have the Yankees, Mets, Islanders. Yankees, Mets, and Islanders all won, or Yankees and Mets won yesterday. Yankees continue their hot streak. They won 10-7. Mets win again. Islanders lost. The Islanders season is done. So today will be my final day talking about the Islanders, although it won't be my final day talking about the hockey. I will be talking about the Stanley Cup every day, or whenever they play the game, the next day, or that day I'll preview the game, and then the next day I'll talk about the game. So now my final day talking about hockey, but it is my final day talking about the Islanders. So Islanders made a good run. They did lose last night 2-1. I was flipping between the Yankees game, the Thursday night game, and the Islanders game. Yankees game was done, so I was flipping back and forth between the Bengals-Browns game. Bengals would go to commercial, I would switch to the Islanders. Islanders go to commercial, I would switch back to the Bengals game. Bengals-Browns switch back and forth. You know how it goes. So enjoyed watching it, but the Islanders kind of came up short. Still a team that nobody expected to get that far. They got to the point where they were 2 games away from making the Stanley Cup. Just unbelievable how they did, how they played. Unbelievable performance by the Islanders. So congrats, but they did lose, but they played unbelievable in the bubble. College football games, and then I have the Miami game. Probably one of the biggest games of all the Sunday and Saturday is that Miami game. That game could be huge for just the ACC. That game could be huge. Saturday night, under the lights, Louisville, Miami. Can't get much better than that. Going to be a lot of fun to watch that. I'm really excited. Hopefully you are as well. So with all that being said, let's kick off this Football Friday. And here we go. This is the BSN Network podcast. And let's get right into it. So here we go. NFL game pick. So let's first read through what happened in last night's game. So last night, obviously the New York Giants, or not the New York Giants, I'm sorry, I was looking at the New York Giants last night. The Cincinnati Bengals obviously beat the Cleveland Browns obviously beat the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm messing up early on here. The Cleveland Browns beat the Cincinnati Bengals. I got that pick wrong. I was not expecting the Cleveland Browns to win. I was not expecting that at all. Hold on one second. Let me just get up my site here. Sorry, I'm messing up because I'm trying to multitask. Let me just get my thing up. So I last night had the Browns losing, Bengals winning. The Cleveland Browns came out and played dominant football. You can't take that away from them. And I'm going to tell you this. I did not want the Browns to win. I did not want them to win one bit. I hope they didn't win. I'm not a big Browns fan. I just don't like them. I think they have a lot of players on their team that are pretty cocky. They have a lot of players on their team that are pretty, you know what I'm trying to say. They're just annoying. They're annoying. I don't like Beckham. I don't like Landry and Beckham can be head cases if they're not getting the ball. I don't like Mayfield. I think he's too cocky. Not a big fan of Myles Garrett after what he did to Mason Rudolph. I don't like the Browns at all. I actually can't stand them. They're one of my least favorite teams. Not that that wasn't the reason why I picked the Bengals. I thought the Browns put up 6 points, and I understand the Ravens' defense is a top 10 D, top 5, maybe even in the NFL. I understand. But the Browns didn't even put up a fight against the Ravens week 1. And it's a Thursday night game. It's a quick turnaround. So you don't have that much time. You have to have a quick turnaround. You're coming off of an awful loss. You have about 2 days to practice. You got to travel on Wednesday because of the new virus. You have to get there a day early. So you have about 2 days of practice. You got to travel there on Wednesday. You play a game against a team who lost in a heartbreaker against the Los Angeles Chargers on that missed kick late in the game, and obviously the A.J. Green offensive pass interference also set it up. Right, you missed that. The Bengals still have momentum, though. Burrow showed promising plays. They come into a game where the Browns absolutely got whooped. They got absolutely whooped. They scored 6 points. And it's not even like they made the game. They scored 6 and they let up 38. So it wasn't even like it was just all on the offense. The defense didn't do much either. They let up 38 points and they only scored 6. So you couldn't do much about that anyway. Even if the offense scores 21-28, you still lose by 10. Every part of that Browns team played horrible against the Ravens. This Browns team last night we saw looked like a completely different team. It almost looked like the players on the Browns that played on that week 1 game switched out their uniforms and put in brand new players, and they went out there and played. This did not look one bit like the Browns team. I didn't even see one little bit of that Browns team we saw on Sunday against the Baltimore Ravens play last night. The Browns dominated last night. And I understand the score was only a 5-point game. I understand that. But the score doesn't always mean everything. The Browns dominated that game. Now, I'm not trying to trash the Bengals. The Bengals played good. Their defense struggled. As always, their defense struggled. They did have that one interception, I'm pretty sure, but their defense, struggled a little bit. There was a couple costly plays on offense that happened. Burrow looked phenomenal. Burrow looked amazing. Joe Burrow looked amazing. 3 touchdowns, looked amazing. He's also working with a so-so offensive line. He got pressured many times last night. He took 3 sacks. Including 1 fumble that he did not recover. The Bengals had some sloppy plays. Their defense was not very good. The defense was not very good. I mean, but that's expected, though, right? Their defense isn't amazing. The reason why I had it being a low-scoring game was because neither of the offenses were overpowering. I saw the Browns just put up 6 points. If you would have told me they would have put up 35 week 2, I would have been like, heck no. You look at their offense week 1 compared to their offense week 2, Nick Chubb wasn't involved. Nick Chubb did not have a good game week 1. Baker Mayfield, no good. Beckham, not good. Landry, not good. Austin Hooper, not good. Guess what? Guess who had good games? Kareem Hunt had a good game. Nick Chubb had a good game. Baker Mayfield had a good game. Jarvis Landry had a good game. Beckham had a good game. All those players who had bad games on Sundays had dominant games yesterday. Browns dominated that game. They won. They fair and square. Fair and square, they won. And the Bengals didn't play bad either. But when you... and I'm telling you, that just goes to show you how explosive the Browns offense can be at times. The Browns offense can be explosive. They've shown signs of being a top 10 offense in the NFL. It's just Odell's not reliable. Landry's not reliable. Kareem Hunt, he's still kind of easing back into the things. You don't know really, what's the deal with him. You don't want to call him a reliable yet. Right, people, the Browns played very good. The Bengals didn't play bad either, but the Browns played very good. So the Browns won 35-30. I get that pick wrong. Although the one thing I did get correct was I had the over-under taking the under, and I took it being less than a 6-point game. So I did get those 2 things right. But now the Bengals will move to 0-2 on the season. Just some stats. Burrow went 37 of 61, 316 yards, 8.5 average, 3 touchdowns. No picks, 3 sacks, 90.6 rating. But he played well. Mayfield, went 16 to 23, 219 yards, 13.7 average, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, no sacks, and a 110.6 rating. He dominated. And Joe Burrow played well. I mean, Joe Burrow played well. He threw the ball 61 times for a quarterback, for a rookie quarterback that's in his second game. To throw the ball 61 times is just goes to show you how much trust this Bengals team, this Bengals coaching staff, this Bengals franchise has on him. They trust him so much that in just his second game of his career, they had him throwing the ball 61 times. 61 times. And I'm not saying it's a bad move, but that just goes to show you how much trust they have in him. He threw the ball 61 times in just his second career game. Just crazy to me. Bengals lose 35-30. All right, so now we move on to the Browns win 35-30. I should probably say it that way. So now, with all that being said, now we move on to the Sunday game picks. I know the Jets, Niners, and the Giants, Bears, Jets, Niners. I will preview after I talk about all the Week 1 games. So here we go. Kicking it off with the Buffalo Bills versus the Miami Dolphins. Buffalo Bills coming in at 5.5-point favorites. The over/under is 41. 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on CBS. Bills, Dolphins. I have the Bills winning. I don't think this is a very difficult move. I think this is not a difficult pick. I think the Bills win. I mean, there's not much else to be said. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Cole Beasley, John Brown, Devin Singletary, defense, Travis White, Micah Hyde, Levi Wallace, Jerry Hughes, Edmonds, players like that. Now let me tell you something. The Bills are thin at linebacker. They are thin at linebacker. I want to make that 1 point clear. They're thin at linebacker. You have to watch out for the Bills this game. They're going to win, I think, but just watch out. They are thin at linebacker. So maybe if you have the Bills playing a solid defensive game, maybe only allowing like 10 points, I don't know if you would want to do that. Because they are losing a lot of linebackers. They're very thin at linebacker. They're down to like their second string at middle, second string, and third strings at like right and left linebackers. So they're definitely low on linebackers. They're thin at that position. So just saying, I think this game will be a little bit higher scoring than what I expected. I take the over on the over-under 41. I think it's going to be something like 31-17, 31-21. I think the Bills do cover. I think they do win by more than 5.5. I just think their offense is just too overpowered. Besides Byron Jones, Shaq Lawson's all right, Kyle Van Noy's all right. Besides them three good players, the Bills they just don't have enough to compete against that Bills offense. So I think the Bills win this game like 31-21. I think the Bills cover, and I take the over on the over/under. So Bills win. That's my first pick. Number 2, the next pick up, I got it's the Steelers, Broncos, 7.5. Steelers coming at 7.5-point favorites. Over/under is 40.5. I have the Steelers winning this game, although I saw a lot of positive out of the Broncos in that third Monday night game against the Titans. I saw a lot of positive out of Drew Lock. Saw a lot of positive out of Jerry Jeudy. Saw a lot of positive out of Noah Fant. I saw a lot of good things come out of that game. I'm going to give Pittsburgh the win here. Their first home game. Roethlisberger, Juju played dominant the first game against the Giants, and I'm not going to lie, I don't think the Broncos secondary is much better. Broncos secondary is not as big, not as good as the, they're not like, the Giants secondary probably is worse, but the Broncos isn't far behind them, or far ahead of them. Broncos secondary isn't amazing, and neither is the Giants. I think the Steelers will take advantage of that. Big Ben had a good game, first game, although it is against the Giants. I think Juju will have another solid game, maybe not in 19 points in fantasy, or 18.9 rounded up to 19. Maybe not that amount of points, but I'm expecting maybe a touchdown, like 60 yards, so maybe like 10, 11, 12 points, somewhere around there. So I do have the Steelers winning this game, and I do have them covering, and I take the over on the 40.5. I have the Steelers, actually, I don't know, do I have the Steelers covering here 7.5? I actually having this being a pretty close game. I saw a lot of positive, and I'm not lying when I say this. Look back at the replay. I saw a lot of good out of Judy. I saw a lot of good out of Drew Lock. And I'm not biased when I'm saying that because you know how high I am on Drew Lock. I saw a lot of good out of Drew Lock. I saw a lot of good out of Jerry Jeudy. I saw a lot of good out of Noah Fant. Philip Lindsay got taken out because he was injured. I saw a lot of positive out of that Broncos defense. Yes, they lost, But I did see our offense, sorry. Yes, they lost, but I saw a lot of positive out of them. So I'm going to actually say, no, the Steelers do not cover. I'm going to say it's Steelers win. I do take the over here. Steelers win 31-24. 31, actually, I have them covering, don't I? Steelers win 31-24. It's not 7.5, it's 7. So I have the Steelers somewhere around 7. So I'd say the Steelers win by 7.5. Let's just say that. So I have the Steelers winning like 31-24, somewhere around there. I think it's going to be close, but I think the Steelers late will win. Steelers win. That's my second pick. Next up, I have the Cowboys-Falcons. Cowboys come in as 4.5-point favorites. Over-under is 54. And a lot of people might think this is crazy for a Falcons offense and for a Cowboys offense. Okay, neither of these defenses are good. Cowboys defense struggled week 1. Okay, against the Rams. They played bad. Cowboys offense played good. Falcons defense played bad, and their offense played good. I think the Cowboys win this game. I say they beat them over. I think they win by more than 4.5. The Falcons came into last game against the Seahawks at 2.5, and I said the Seahawks would win by a lot more than 2.5. Guess who won by a lot more than 2.5? The Seahawks. This game, same thing. I don't know why they only have the Cowboys as only 4.5-point favorites against the Falcons. I think the Cowboys win by way more than 4.5. I actually take the over on the 54. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think the Cowboys are going to win like 35 to maybe like 28, 35, 24, something like that. And I actually take the over here on the over-under. So I take the over, and I have Cowboys winning, and I have them winning by more than 4.5. Next up, we have the Giants-Bears, although I will preview that game later. We have the Jaguars-Titans. Titans come in as 7.5-point favorites, over-under 44. I have the Titans winning. And even though the Jaguars beat the Colts and Minshew had a solid game by their defense, solid game by their offense, I think the Titans are just the better team. I saw a lot of rusty out of the Titans against that Broncos game, although I also saw a lot of good. Their kicker is a problem. I mean, he went 1 for 5. Although Mike Vrabel, the head coach, said that he believes in Gostkowski. I mean, he's a veteran. He knows how to recover from those performances, so I do agree with him, staying with him. I just think if the Titans can drill kicks and they could play good defense and play good offense, I don't think this will be a hard game for them to win. I think the Titans win by more than that. I think the Titans win like 31-17, and I will take the over on the over-under of 44. I have the Titans winning. Next up, we have the Lions-Packers. Now, the Lions, I had strongly winning against the Bears week 1. Week 1, I also had the Vikings strongly winning against the Packers. Neither of those picked were correct. The Lions ended up losing and the Packers ended up winning. So this is an interesting pick because this is going to technically break my record for either of these teams. I'm 0-1 for both of these teams technically because I picked against the Packers week 1, lost that. And I picked for the Lions week 1, and I lost that as well. I have the Packers winning this game. Packers come in as 6.5-point favorites. Over-under is 49.5. I take the over. Actually, I don't know. Do I take the over? I don't think the Packers defense is good. I don't know. Packers offense was very good too, and the Lions I take the over here because I think the Packers could very well put up another 38 spot again. I take the over or the over-under. I think the Packers win somewhere around like 35-17. I take the over. I think the Packers offense looked amazing week 1 against a solid Vikings defense, putting up 43 points. I have the Packers winning this game. I take the over on the 49.5, and I have the Packers winning by more than 6.5. So I have the Packers covering, and I take the over on the 49.5. So I have the Packers winning this game. Next up, we got the Panthers-Jaguars. This is interesting because I've heard a lot of people say they're taking the Panthers because the Panthers look so good against the Raiders week 1. And I know the Broncos and the Buccaneers look so bad against the Saints week 1. But I have the Buccaneers here. The Buccaneers coming as 9-point favorites. Over-under is 47.5. I actually take the under here on this game. I take the over. I have the Buccaneers winning this game. I think it's going to be closer than a lot of people think. I think they do cover. I think they do win by more than 9. But I think it's somewhere around like 10. I think the Buccaneers win like 31-21. Which would give you 42, which is actually not covering. So I'm going to say I take the under on the 47.5 here. I don't think they'll cover here. I just don't foresee it happening. I think they'll. I see the Broncos covering. I don't see the Panthers. I don't see the over/under 47. Over/under is 47.5. I take the under. I think it will be something like. Actually, I take the over here. Sorry, I did my math wrong. I take the over. I think the Buccaneers will win something like 31-21. I think it's going to be closer. I don't think it's going to be 9. I think it's going to be like 10, but it's going to be somewhere like 31-21-ish. So I say the Buccaneers win this game. Next up, this one's got no spread. This is even. I've heard this one bounce back and forth. I saw this one, the Rams over-under is 46, and the Eagles. I saw the Rams were 2.5, then the Eagles were 1.5, and now it looks like there's no favorite. It looks like now it's just straight up in the air. Interesting. And the NFL is doing something interesting here. They don't got any favorite here. The sports odds don't have any favorite here, so they have it being a complete toss-up. Rams, Eagles. 1-0 Rams go against the 0-1 Eagles. I don't know why this game's so close. Is it just me? I don't know why in the world everybody has this game being so close. I have the Rams winning. Eagles looked good in the first half against the football team, against Washington, but then they looked ugly in the second half. And the Rams looked solid all game against the Cowboys. I don't know why in the world this game is so close. Like, I don't know why in the world everybody has this game being the game, that close game. Like, why? I think the Rams clearly beat the Eagles here. Rams win, and I take the over on the over-under. I think the Rams win like 31-17. I take the over. Okay, I think it's going to be decently close, but I take the over here. Rams win. And I think that's obvious. And I know the Rams aren't home, but what's home field advantage in 2020, people? I think that's obvious. Rams win. Next up, this is another one that I just can't believe. I understand the Vikings allowed 43 points, and they allowed 43 points, and they are, they played bad against the Packers. There's really no other way of saying it. They did lose 43-34. But the fact that they have the Colts as a 3-point favorite, a team who lost to probably one of the worst teams in the NFL in the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they have the over-under of 48.5, no way, people. The Vikings win this game. There is no way the Colts beat the Vikings. And you're talking about a Colts team that lost. This isn't like you're talking about a Colts team that won week 1. You're talking about a Colts team that lost. No way the Colts do not win this game. The Vikings win, and I take the under here because I do think it will be a closer game than a lot of people think. I take it's 28-14. I take the under here. 28-14. That would stand at 42. So I take the under here for the Vikings-Colts game. 28-17, somewhere around there for the Vikings-Colts game. 28-17 is 46. Yeah, so I'll take the under here. But I do have the Vikings winning. I think this is obvious. Is it just me, or is this just doesn't make sense? This doesn't make sense to me. There's no way the Vikings are 3-point underdogs against a team who just lost to Jacksonville. At least the Vikings lost to a playoff contender in the Green Bay Packers. At least they lost to the team that could possibly make the playoffs. In my opinion, a top 10 team in the league. You're talking about the Colts, who just lost to the Jaguars, and you're going to put them at 3-point favorites. Doesn't make sense. I have the Vikings winning this game. Next up, we have the Cardinals and the Washington football team. Cardinals coming as 6.5-point favorites. Over-under is 46.5. These are two 1-0 teams. Even though how good the football team played in the second half of last week's matchup against the Eagles, scored 27 unanswered, beat the Eagles by 10, 27-17, got themselves a win. I have the Cardinals winning this game. If you saw Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins hook up last game, it can be special, people. This is going to be special times for the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals looked absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing against the San Francisco 49ers, who, let me keep in mind, have a very good defense. They looked amazing. Kyler Murray to DeAndre Hopkins looked just smooth. It looked very good. Timing was on. For the first game, too, we were knocking off the rust. I didn't see much rust. I have the Kyler Murray and the DeAndre Hopkins-led Cardinals winning this game. First game at home, although that doesn't mean much. 31... I have the Cardinals winning like 34, like 35 to 17-ish. I have them taking the over here. Washington's defense isn't the greatest thing in the world, although that's decent. And the Cardinals' offenses just looked unbelievable against probably a top 5, top 10 defense in the NFL. They looked unbelievable against the Niners. They won that game, 6.5-point favorites. I think they cover on that. I take the over here, the over-under. Cardinals win easy here. That's going to be a lot of fun. Next up, we got the Kansas City Chiefs going into play against the Los Angeles Chargers. Chiefs coming at 8.5-point favorites. Over/under is 47.5. I have the Chiefs winning this game, and I take the over here. I think this is obvious. I think the Chargers, even though they beat the Bengals, they beat them on a interesting ending. I think the Chiefs are just a better team here. I think the Chiefs are one of the best teams in the league at the moment. I think they're the best team in the league. I think the Chiefs are the better team here. I just think it's obvious. You take the Chiefs here. Chiefs win. I say they cover, and I take the over of the 47.5. Chiefs win. Next up, we got the Ravens and the Texans. Over under 50, 7-point favorites. I'm actually going to say this is going to be a close game. I think the Ravens win, but I think it's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be a 7-point game. I think it's going to be like a 3-point game, and I actually take the under here because I think the Ravens' defense is very good. And so is the Texans' defense is pretty good as well. I take the under here on the over-under of 50. I take the under, and I say that the Ravens win like 24-21, something like that. I don't think it's going to be a huge offensive battle, to be honest. I know it might sound crazy with these two teams' offenses. I think it's going to be somewhere around maybe like 31-28, which would lead me at like 49-ish. I take maybe 50. Maybe I take the over here after thinking about it. Maybe I do take the over here, but it's not going to be big over. It might be like 31-28, 31-30. It's not going to be anything over crazy. I think this game's actually close. I do give the Ravens the win, and I take the over, but I do think this game will be close. Next up, we got the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots. Seattle Seahawks coming at 4-point favorites, and the over-under is 45. This is the Monday night game. These are two good defenses going up against each other. I take the over of the over-under. I give the Seahawks the win here. I actually think it's going to be a pretty close game. I give the Seahawks the win 31-20 or 28-24. I think it's going to be a close game, and it's going to be a battle to the finish. I have the Seahawks winning. Going to be a good game, I think. Seahawks win. This is the Sunday night game, which should be a lot of fun to watch. I have the Seahawks winning in like a close game. I think it's just 4 points. It's like 28-24, something like that. And I take the over. Or actually, under. Right, under? Yeah, because 28-24 is 42. So I technically take the under here. So I actually take the under of this game. And I think it's like 28-24, something like that. Oh, the Seahawks offense looked amazing. Actually I take the over. I think it's going to be like 31-28 maybe. 31-27, 31-28 area around there. I think it's going to be a close game. I do think that. I take the over here, and I think it's going to be a close game. And then the Saints-Raiders, I will preview that game on Monday, as that is the Monday night game. So I'll preview that game. Then Seahawks-Patriots should be a lot of fun to watch. That is what I got for the game picks. Now I'll preview the Jets games and stuff. These are my game picks, just to go through them one more time. I have Bills winning, Steelers winning, Cowboys winning, Titans winning, Packers winning, Buccaneers winning, Rams winning, Vikings winning, Cardinals winning, Chiefs winning, Ravens winning, and Seahawks winning. So just one more time, just in case if I messed anything up, just one more time. Bills winning, Steelers winning, Cowboys winning, Titans winning, Packers winning, Buccaneers winning, Rams winning, Vikings winning, Cardinals winning, Chiefs winning, and the Ravens winning. And then the Seahawks winning as well. And in the Monday night game, I'll preview on Monday night as well. So those are my two things. So now we preview the Jets and the Giants games. So I'm going to preview the Jets game first here. So the Jets game comes in. Over-under is 41.5. It is the San Francisco 49ers coming as 7-point favorites. New York Jets coming as 7-point underdogs. The over-under is 41.5. I don't know what to say about this game, okay? And I understand here, and a lot of people might, talk about all this. I understand. the 49ers are battling a lot of injuries. Deebo Samuel's on the IR. Richard Sherman on the IR. We don't know what's going to happen if George Kittle. He's expected to play, but he might be on a limited snap count. He didn't practice yesterday. We don't know if he practiced today. I understand. I've actually heard a lot more people pick the Jets here against the 49ers than I did against the Bills. And I think it's because of the fact that the 49ers are hurt right now. The 49ers have a lot of injuries. Deebo Samuel gone. Or IR, Richard Sherman IR, and those aren't no-name players. I mean, Deebo Samuel, probably your best receiver, Richard Sherman, your best corner, and now you possibly don't have or he's limited, the best tight end in the NFL in George Kittle, right? And I understand the 49ers, and they didn't look great either. The 49ers didn't look great against the Cardinals, and that was with Kittle and Sherman playing, and even Kittle did go out early, and obviously now Sherman's on IR, Deebo Samuel didn't play, but I was expecting a little bit of, I was expecting the 49ers to win that game, and they didn't look very, very good. These are 2 0-1 teams coming in here, although you do look how the Jets played, and the Jets played horrible. It was ugly. It was almost too ugly to even watch how bad they played. And I think Sam Darnold's play showed for it. I think if you look over the replays, it showed. I mean, the Jets played horrible. I mean, it was probably one of the worst performances I've seen the Jets make in a long time. I mean, it's normal Jets, though. And the Niners, I was very surprised. When the Niners, because the Cardinals, I'm expecting to have a decent year, but I was not expecting the Cardinals to go in 49ers. And I understand, no fans and stuff, but to go to the 49ers and win that game, I was not expecting that. As a matter of fact, if you would have told me that, I probably wouldn't have expected it, because let me tell you something. Do I think DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray will be successful? Yes. But I just did not see them going into a 49ers team and just winning that game. And they did. And I'm sure a lot of people had the Niners winning that game. And same thing here with the Niners. I think a lot of people have the Niners winning this, but also some people do have the Jets. And I'm not one of those people. I have the Niners winning this game. Now, I do think this game might be a little bit better than the Jets, than the Bills game. Only because of the Niners' injuries. I don't foresee the Jets winning this game, though. As a matter of fact, I don't foresee them winning the game at all. I take the 31-21, 31-17. So, let me just do the math. So I actually take the over on the over-under 41.5. I have the 49ers winning like 31-17. So 31 plus 17 is 848. So I take the over on the over-under. I have the Niners covering. I have the Jets losing 31-17. That's my deal. Now, let's just say Kittle, Deebo, and Richard Sherman were healthy. It's a 35-10 blowout. But with them not healthy, 31-17, 49ers win. I think the Jets will score maybe a little bit more points, but 31-17, they win by 14 points. They win by 2 scores, and they will cover with the 7. Now, you're talking Richard Sherman, Deebo Samuel, Kittle, all fully healthy. You're talking a 35-10 blowout, but that's not the case. 31-17, Jets lose against the 49ers. So, that's my pick, although I hope I'm wrong. Every Jets pick, I hope I'm wrong, except whenever I predict them to win. So, I hope I'm wrong with this pick, but I just don't foresee that. I just don't foresee them winning. I think they have a little bit of a shot, a little bit more of a shot. I think it's like an 80-20 now. It probably was a 90-10. I think it's like an 85-15 now. It probably was a 90-10 with all them healthy. I think it's like an 85-15 now, but I still don't foresee the Jets winning this game. So, the Jets lose 31-17. Niners cover, and I take the over under 41.5. So it should be interesting. I hope the Jets win, but I just don't foresee it happening. Now we move on to the Giants and the Now we move on to the Giants and the Bears. Now this is a very interesting game because the Bears they won their first game. They look good. And don't get me wrong, they won their first game. They look pretty good. But, the Giants, too, they didn't look bad, and they did lose their first game, but they didn't look that bad. The Bears coming in this game, 5.5-point favorites, over under 42.5. I take the under. First off, but I'm going to just tell you straight up, I take the under. I think this is a low-scoring game. These are two teams with the Bears having a good defense and the Giants having a meh offense. So the Giants, I don't think, will score much. Giants not having a great, amazing defense, but the Bears don't have a very good offense. So I don't think they will score much. I think this is a very low-scoring game. So I'm going to tell you first, I take the under on the 42.5. I think it's going to be an under. I think it's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be 5.5. I think it's going to be closer than 5.5. I have the Bears winning this game. Now, don't get me wrong. The Giants played very well against the Steelers. And prove me wrong, Giants. They could very well win this game, but I do not foresee them winning this game. Okay, the Giants played well against the Bears, or the Steelers. If they play like they did against the Steelers, against the Bears, they could very well win that game. I just don't know if it's going to happen. I think the Bears have a lot of momentum after winning that game. A division rival, a division game, comeback, win, Trubisky pumped. I think the Bears just have a lot of momentum in their favor, and that's why I'm taking them to win this game. I think it's a low-scoring game. I think it's going to be something like 17-14, something like that. 21-17, 17-14. And it's going to be. I think it's going to be I take the under. Like I said, my first thing was I take the under. I think it's going to be something like. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I just don't think these two offenses are very overpowering. It's going to be something like 21-17, which would actually give you the under 2. It's going to be something like that. It's going to be like an under there. It's going to be like 21-17 or something. It's going to be low-scoring game. I have the Bears winning, though. The only reason I have the Bears winning is I just think their defense. And the Bears' offense isn't amazing, but the Giants' defense just isn't either, and I think there might be a couple plays where the Bears' offense can just, do things with that, and I think the Bears' defense is just too good for a Giants' offense. So, Giants, I say, lose. I think the Bears win. But I do think it will be a good game. So, have the Bears winning. I have it less than 5.5. I think it's going to be like a 4 or a 3-point game. Take the under here. It should be a lot of fun to see who wins that game. And back to the Jets game. Like I wanted to say with the Jets. It's not that I'm saying the Jets are going to make it a close game. But I think the Jets lose 31-17. Here's my deal, though. Right? And this is, I think, a key thing. With the Niners, I think they would have, if Kittle is fully healthy, Richard Sherman and Deebo Samuel are all fully healthy, they would have won this game like 35-10. Without them, though, I say it's 31-17. So I think the Jets will lose, but I think it'll be a little bit more interesting than what we expected. But I think the miserable Jets will lose again. So those are my game picks. Let me just read over them one more time because I just want to make sure they are engraved in there. So those are my game picks. Should be a lot of fun to see. So here they are. So I have the 49ers winning. Bills winning, Steelers winning, Cowboys winning, Bears winning, Titans winning, Packers winning, Buccaneers winning, Rams winning, Vikings winning, Cardinals winning, Chiefs winning, Ravens winning, and the Seahawks winning. So those are all the winning games I have. So should be fun. Alrighty, so now we move on to fantasy football. And I'm going to give you my players who I think who you could start, who you could sit, who you could add, and players that are up in the air. And I'll just give you my lineups, who I'm playing, what I'm projected, all that good stuff. Coming right up next. Football Friday continues. Alrighty, so I'm going to go into my league that I actually won last week. The league that I did say, the league that I think I have the better team in, lost, and the league that I think I have the worst team in, won. So the league, I call it like the 7.5, 8 league, 8 out of 10 league, I won it. And the league that I think my team's a 9 out of 10, I won it as well. Just my bench is probably holding me back from giving that huge 10 out of 10. Did not win. So that league did not win. So I'm going to give you the league that I'm doing best in at the moment, which is the winning team. This is my league's team. So I'm sitting here at the moment with a 1-0 record, undefeated. Don't want to get too happy about that. It's just 1-0. There's a lot of other teams in my league that are undefeated. As a matter of fact, there's 3 other teams that are undefeated because I play in a 6-person league. 3 teams won, 3 teams lost. Hopefully this week I can win again. So let me just tell you right now where I sit atop my division. So at the moment, I am 1-0, tied for first in my division. So at the moment, technically, I am projected to finish third. It's weird because last week I won and I was projected to do second. And last week I won and I dropped down a peg. And then the person I beat, and then the person I beat went up 2 slots. So it's a little odd to me, and I scored the most points too in my league. It's a little odd to me that I went backwards in the fantasy standing projections, but I went forwards. But I went backwards, but the people I beat went forwards. So it's a little odd there, but it also is all how projections work, how your team's going to do in the future as well. That's kind of also how it works. So that's kind of the power rankings. I'm projected to finish third, which I'm okay with, although I want to finish first. But, at the moment, third place isn't a bad spot because that means my team's kind of in the middle. It means my team's solid. A couple more wins might propel me to that first place spot. So I am 1-0 at the moment. So here we go. So this is my team that I'm rocking for this week. I picked up Aaron Rodgers off of waivers, dropped Matt Ryan, picked up Rodgers. So I have Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, Ezekiel Elliott running back, Chris Carson running back, Devontae Adams wide receiver, Juju Smith-Schuster tight end, George Kittle, flex David Johnson, defense Bills defense, and my kicker Harrison Butker. That's my starting lineup. My bench is DJ Moore, Zach Ertz, Ben Roethlisberger, Allen Robinson, Todd Gurley, Bears defense, and Robert Woods. So that's my bench for that league. Now my other league, this is my bench, or my team. Deshaun Watson, Saquon Barkley, Kenyon Drake, Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans, Keenan Allen, Zach Ertz, T.Y. Hilton, Steelers defense, Matt Prater. And then my bench is Drew Brees, Hunter Henry, DeAndre Swift, Marvin Jones Jr., Broncos defense, and Jordan Howard is my defense, or my bench. So that's my other team. So let me go back to my team that I just won. And so I have the one questionable player, if you have him as well, is George Kittle. Kittle is expected to play on Sunday. This was Thursday, though. Kittle knee was a non-participant at Thursday's practice. Nick Wagner of ESPN.com reports. He is expected to play, but like I said with all questionable players, when you get up on Sunday and if he's still questionable, if 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, the games come on. If you're on that time zone area, right? 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Just follow it, right? Follow it every 15, 20, even an hour, once an hour. Leading up to the games, just check it. Just check it. Just check it every couple minutes, every 15, 20 minutes. Just check it and make sure if there's any new updates because updates come in at random times. So, you don't want to all of a sudden get an update 1 minute before the game and that you got an hour before that and see it 1 minute before the game and all of a sudden got to make a last-second switch. I do think Kittle will play. I do think he will be limited, though. So if you want a guy that's going to have more snaps and possibly more chances to get big plays, put another dude in. I am putting Kittle in just because I think it's just against the Jets, and I think he'll have a good game. He's also projected 9.9 points, which usually if he's limited, it might go down a little bit. So if the points go down, usually that means he might be limited slightly, which means lessen the chances to have a big game. Just watch out for that. Keep your eyes peeled within even today, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Just keep your eyes peeled. See if there's any new updates on him. Obviously, if he's out, a smart thing you would do is to remove him from your lineup and bring in a backup. Put him on the bench and bring in a backup. And obviously, if he plays, then he plays. And, it's that kind of your choice. But that's my only questionable for this team. And some players you could pick up too. Like, let's just say you don't have a backup tight end. Some players that are available are, I'm sure Hunter Henry in some leagues might be available. Jonnu Smith had a solid game for the Tennessee Titans in his first game. With them, had 9.6 points. He's projected 6 again. Dallas Goedert had a solid game. He had 16.1. He had 16.1. I think he's taking over at tight end there. I think he had 16.1, which was good. He could definitely very well be one. Chris Herndon, I don't want to say he will be one. He just didn't have a great game the last game. A couple guys like that at tight end. If you're thin at tight end, those are a couple players that could be available. They're available in my league, so they possibly could be in your league. A couple wide receivers, Marvin Jones Jr. against Green Bay. Not a great matchup, but then you have Terry McLaurin against a meh Arizona secondary. Budda Baker is back there, but I don't think he's anything special. I don't think he's worth all the money he got. I think Terry McLaurin against Arizona would be pretty good. I think their secondary is kind of weak. Will Fuller against Baltimore, I might hold off on. I think that's going to be a defense. I think Baltimore is going to win, but I think Baltimore's defense is very good, and Will Fuller is good, but not to the point where he might be able to break free from some of those players on that team. Ronald Jones Jr., definitely a player I would pick up. Kareem Hunt already played. And then your quarterbacks. My quarterbacks available are Matt Ryan, Stafford, and Wentz. Wentz, I wouldn't recommend it. I just don't think Wentz is all that good. Matt Ryan against Dallas defense, I think that game's going to be a shootout. But I have the Cowboys winning. And Stafford against Green Bay, I would not recommend. I think Green Bay's got a very good defense. So there's just a couple players here and there. Reason I'm starting David Johnson, he's playing against Baltimore, I understand, but I think especially with that Baltimore secondary the way it is, I think they might rely on a little bit of the run game. And I understand Todd Gurley against Dallas, but Dallas' strength is the defensive front. So their secondary, they're going to rely on passing a lot, I feel. So I don't know if Gurley would get as many chances. That one's still up in the air, though. Allen Robinson, I'm not starting him. I'm starting Juju instead. But Allen Robinson could very well have a big day. Giants secondary is pretty weak. Giants defense overall is pretty weak. I can imagine him getting some catches over there. Robert Woods against Philly, too. Not a great secondary. Robert Woods, a solid receiver. He could be a starter for you as well, or just a bench player once again, which is in my case here. Now we move on to my other team, which my other team here is Deshaun Watson, Saquon Barkley, Kenyon Drake, Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans, Keenan Allen, Zach Ertz, T.Y. Hilton, Steelers defense, Matt Prater. Bench is Drew Brees, Hunter Henry, DeAndre Swift, Marvin Jones Jr., Broncos defense, and Jordan Howard. So Mike Evans is questionable. Once again, he is questionable. Evans' hamstring was a limited participant in Thursday's practice. Greg Auman, a human of The Athletic reports. He was limited last game. Only had 6 points. Struggled big time. I benched him though. I didn't even play him. I benched him. Which didn't make a difference because I lost by more than 6 points anyway. I benched him. I ended up playing... Who did I play for in front of him? I think Marvin Jones Jr., who didn't have a very good game either. So I benched Evans. Last game since he was injured, he was limited. He is projected 11.1. Keep your eyes out for him as well. Especially with that injury, he was a limited participant. They say Kittle's expected to play. They've said absolutely nothing on Evans. So just like I said, keep your eyes peeled. You don't have to look at it every 5 seconds, but, every little bit, just look at it, see, okay, is there any updates? And if there isn't any, then, sometimes it's just your choice. And that's what happened to me. It was a 4 o'clock game. I had to submit my lineup before then. So it was a choice. It was either I take a limited snap count Mike Evans, who might not even play. And if he does play, it's a limited snap. Or I take a guy who is going to be the number one for the Lions that week. And I take him, Marvin Jones Jr., who I know is going to play the full game. I took my chance with Marvin Jones Jr. He scored one last point, but it still didn't make much of a difference. So sometimes you have to make those choices yourself. And sometimes you have to make the choices. Sometimes sometimes if he's out, you have to change him out. But if he's questionable, you don't have to. But I made the decision, especially now that it's a 1 o'clock game. It's going to be easier because it's going to tell you if he's done earlier, if he's going to be able to play earlier. So just be aware for that. In my one league, the league that I'm 1-0 in, I'm projected 109.2 points. My opponent 96.6 points. I'm projected 109.2, which is pretty good. In my other league as well, I'm projected 107. My opponent's projected 103, 107. I'm 4-point favorite. So my one league, I'm projected a lot more than the other league, but I think that's also just because my team might be a little bit more powerful there. So that's what I got for that league. For my fantasy overview, good luck to your fantasy team. If you're playing, good luck to it. See what happens. Tell me what happens. Right now I'm sitting at 1-1 overall in fantasy, 1-0 in one league, 0-1 in the other. Hopefully that 0-1 league I need to turn around because, that's an 8-person league, so it's harder to get into the playoffs. And if you start off 0-2, 0-3, your season could be in jeopardy early. So this is actually a big game for me, especially that I play probably one of the best players in the league next week. So if I lose this game, I could very well go 0-3. So this is a big game for me. And as for the league that I'm 1-0, and if I lose this game, I'll be mad. But I think it shouldn't hurt me too much. Although I hope I do win. So those are my picks, or those are my that's my kind of just 2 cents into who you should pick, who you shouldn't. That's kind of just my stuff. So anyway, so I'm gonna give you my ranked college football picks. Here we go. So all games FBS. How many games are there? All games FBS. A ton. Should I do all the FBS games, or should I only do... I'll do all of them, because I've been doing all of them. Coming up next, we have the Yankees, Mets, Islanders, college football games, and the Miami game. Coming up next. Alrighty, so here we go. So the Yankees play today, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time against the Boston Red Sox. We start up a new series. Alrighty, so here we go. So the Yankees won yesterday 10-7. Yankees are 10 runs, 14 hits, no errors. Blue Jays 7 runs, 12 hits, 1 error. The Yankees here... LeMahieu went 1 for 3 with 2 runs, 2 walks, and an RBI. Wade went 0 for 0. Voit went 2 for 5 with 2 runs and an RBI. We broke a home run record yesterday. Just unbelievable. We went back to back to back and all that good stuff. Just unbelievable how well we were hitting. Hicks went 1 for 3 with 2 walks. Stan went 4 for 5 with a run scored and 2 RBIs. He was phenomenal. Torres went 1 for 5 with a run scored and an RBI. Urshela 1 for 5. Frazier 0 for 4 with a run scored and a walk. Gary Sanchez went 2 for 4 with 2 runs and 2 RBIs. Garner went 2 for 4 with a run scored, a walk, and 2 RBIs. Tanaka went 7 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned, no walks, 5 strikeouts. Ottavino 1 inning, 1 hit, no earned, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Holders 0.13, 3 hits, 4 earned, 2 walks, no strikeouts. He made it interesting. Chapman 2/3 of an inning, 1 hit, no earned, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Got the save there. Yankees win. Big win for the Yankees. I give them another win tonight as we're just dominating right now. We're just dominating. Next up, we got the Mets. The Mets, they won yesterday. So the Mets, oh my gosh, I don't know what is going on with my phone. Where am I? Holy moly. Here we go. All right, so the Mets yesterday, they won as well. They won. Let me get the score up here. So they played today, 7:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Mets won yesterday, 10-6. Both New York teams putting up big games. Mets won 10. They won 10-6, or they won 10-6. They moved to 23-27 on the season. Phillies moved to 24-25 on the season. Yankees, by the way, they are now 29-21 on the season, and they are now on an 8-game win streak. They're dominating. Mets had 10 runs, 11 hits, no errors. Phillies 6 runs, 9 hits, no errors. The Mets, Nimmo went 3 for 4 with a run scored and a walk and 3 RBIs. He's been hot lately. Conforto went 1 for 3 with 2 runs, 2 walks. J.D. Davis went 0 for 5 with a run scored. Frazier went 0 for 0. Dom Smith went 3 for 5 with 2 runs scored and 2 RBIs. Cano went 2 for 5 with a run scored and 4 RBIs. Rosario went 0 for 0. Alonso went 1 for 5 with a run scored and RBI. McNeil went 1 for 3 with a run scored, 2 walks. Jimenez went 0 for 3 with a run scored, 2 walks. Chirinos went 0 for 2, and Gilmore went 0 for 1, and Ramos went 0 for 1. Lugo pitched 1 2/3, 8 runs, 8 hits, 6 runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts. They find themselves in a hole early. They were able to bounce back and win. Ramirez went 2 1/3, 1 hit, no earned, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. Shreve 2 1/3, no hits, no walks, no hits, no earned, no walks, 3 strikeouts. Familia 1 1/3, no hits, no earned, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Wilson 1/3, no hits, no earned, no walks, 2 walks, no strikeouts. And Diaz won 1 inning, no hit, no earned, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. The Mets win their game. I give them another win tonight. Actually, no, I give the Braves the win. Braves have been hot. Give the Braves the win. And then the Islanders. The Islanders had their season came to an end last night. They played well, though. They played definitely well. Kucherov, Varlamov had a very good game. When I was watching that game, he made some phenomenal saves in that overtime period to really come up with it. Stinks that final goal It was hit off his one pad, rolled. It was behind him, then it hit off of his left pad and into the net. So he literally kicked it into the net himself, but he had no clue it was there. Varlamov played amazing. He had Andrei Vasilevsky had 1 goal out, 27 saves, 27 shots on goal, 26 saves, 963 save percentage, and Varlamov played amazing. 48 shots on goal, 46 saves, 958 save percentage, 2 goals allowed, and the Islanders didn't put that much pressure either. They only had 27 shots on goal. And as for them, as for the Lightning, they put up 48 shots on goal. So it's difficult to win. But the Islanders put a good pressure on. They just couldn't find the back of the net there. The Islanders lose. They played very well, though, throughout their whole season. They lose. Their season comes to an end. But, it's tough. But, it is what it is. They played very, very well. So now on to focusing on next season. One thing I noticed from the Yankees game was, once again, guess what? Once again, look. Once again, Yankees, look at this. 14 hits. We're just dominating in hit right now. We've put up a total of 43 runs in the past. 43 runs, right? Because we had 20, then 13, then 10. We've put up 43 runs during that series. It was just unreal. We played so well. So now we move on to our college game picks. These are fast. I'm going to go through kind of just quickly the ones. I'm going to go through quick ones. These are all the FBS games. I do all of them. Although when the Big Ten starts up, I might only have to do AP Top 25 games. As a matter of fact, I don't know if I should just do that today, but I don't know. I'm 22-6 right now in my college football game picks. So here we go. Let's start off. So Clemson, the Citadel. Clemson's 45.5 point favorites. I give Clemson the win. Miami, Louisville. I will preview that game in just a bit. Coastal Carolina, Campbell. I give Coastal Carolina the win. Memphis, Houston. I give Memphis the win. Cincinnati, Austin, PA. I give Cincinnati the win. Duke, Boston College. Give Duke the win. Baylor, Houston. Give Baylor the win. Western Kentucky, Liberty, Western Kentucky the win. GA, Georgia State, Louisiana the win. They're ranked now. Navy, Tulane. I give Navy the win. Even though Navy lost big that last game, I do give Navy the win here. Even though they are underdogs, give Navy the win. Pittsburgh, Syracuse. Give Pitt the win. Oklahoma State, Tulsa. Oklahoma State wins. Notre Dame, South Florida. Notre Dame wins. UTSA, Stephen F. Austin. Give UTSA the win. Marshall, Appalachian State. They're 24th ranked. Army, BYU. This is a very good game. This is postponed, but this would have been a very good game. This is now postponed now. Florida Atlantic, Georgia Southern. Give Florida Atlantic the win. UCF, Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech coming off a big win, but UCF, I give them the win. Troy, MTSU, Troy the wins. SMU, North Texas, give SMU the win. Central Arkansas State, give Arkansas State the win. Louisiana Tech, Southern Miss, Louisiana Tech, I give the win here, actually. Texas State, Louisiana Monroe, give Texas State the win. Virginia Tech, Virginia was postponed. North Carolina State, Wake Forest, give NC State the win. UTEP, Albany Christian, give UTEP the win. Now, for the biggest game of them all, Miami, Louisville, over under 64.5, 2.5 point favorites. Tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ABC. Miami, Louisville, big game. I give Miami the win. Even though they're 2.5 points, even though they're 2.5 point underdogs, Miami didn't look that good against UAB, and they still played really well. If Derek King can really he showed flashes. Their running back Harris played very well. It is in Cardinal Stadium in Louisville. Miami, gonna be a fun game to watch. I give Miami the win. I say they win 31-28. I think it's going to be a very good game. 31-28. I take the under here of the over-under. I take the under. Miami wins 31-28. Should be a lot of fun. Go Miami. Hopefully they win. It's going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be a good game. This is going to be a very, very good game. So those are my college football game picks. That's going to be a fun game. That might be what I'm really excited. That and the Jets game I'm really excited for. The Jets game I'm always excited for, but that Miami game might be the highlight because that Miami game is just going to be so fun to watch. And don't get me wrong, I think Miami very well could be the only football team I watch this weekend that wins. My favorite football team, out of my favorite football teams this weekend, I think Miami will probably be the only one that wins because I don't foresee the Jets winning. Even though they're 2.5-point underdogs, man, I have Miami. This is going to be a fun game, man. This is going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited. I really am excited. I think ABC to 7:30. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. And if I'm not mistaken, I could actually check it now. Our podcast. If I'm not mistaken, I could actually check it now. I think College Game Day is going to Louisville. I'm not sure. College Game Day. Let's see. Yes. Louisville. They're going to be at Louisville tomorrow. Okay. I don't know how I feel about that. They're going to Louisville, but, I'm happy they are because, obviously, I'm happy because they're prime time. So, the Miami's rocking the iced out uniforms tomorrow. They're rocking the Stormtroopers. They're rocking the all white unis. I like those unis. I have a blackout Miami jersey, which should be fun. I can't wait. I can't wait for this game. It's going to be a ton of fun to watch. I'm just excited. I'm so excited. Saw the UAB Miami game. They played really well, but this game just brings a whole lot of different energy. Give Miami the win. Should be a lot of fun to watch. College Game Day kicks it all off tomorrow. Should be a lot of fun. So with all that being said, that's what I got for the podcast today. Go Miami and go Jets. Go Yankees as well. Another full weekend at football. Very excited for that. Another full weekend of football. Another full weekend of baseball again as well. Very exciting. Sports is popping right now. Very exciting. With all that being said, enjoy your weekend. As you all know, I take off on weekends. I'll see you all back here on Monday. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your weekend. Hope you all enjoyed it. I will see you all back here on Monday. Hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.